morning and a warm welcome. You're listening to the club station of the Sandton Amateur Radio Club, ZS6STN, which today comes to you from the shack of Chris, the GM. The Sandton Amateur Radio Club Bulletin is broadcast every Sunday at 8:45 local time on the following frequencies: 145, 700 megahertz FM in the 2 band, by the repeater, and on 7115 kilohertz lower sideband in the 40-meter band from the shack of Noel, ZR6TX, and today from the shack ZS6GM, as well as on the ZA-Net All-Star Network. In the bulletin today, a summary of the SARL news, club birthdays and club news, General Ham radio news, technical topic of interest, summary of South African radio news for Sunday the 2nd of March 2025. In today's news, the SARL Hamnet 40-meter simulated emergency contest, changes to the SARL Hamnet structure, and great at the SARL Centenary Technical Symposium. SARL Hamnet 40-meter simulated emergency contest. Today is the SARL Hamnet 40-meter simulated emergency contest using phone. The contest runs from to 14 hours UTC, which is 14 to 16 hours local time. So get out, set up a station in a park, participate as a single operator mobile or fixed station, or as a multi-operator club station. Logs must be submitted no later than 21:59 this coming Friday, the 7th of March, and they should be submitted to contest at peham.co.za. I repeat that email address. It's contest at peham.co.za. Please see the SARL contest manual for the rules. Changes to the SARL Hamnet structure. Following the February meeting of the SARL Council, the Council hereby announces that Brian Jacobs, ZS6YZ, has been appointed as the National Director of SARL Hamnet, and Keith Lowe, ZS5 Whiskey Foxtrot Delta, as the Deputy National Director. Council Grant Southey, ZS1 Golf Sierra, stroke ZS3 Golf Sierra, for his contribution to SARL Hamnet in his role as National Director, and Council expresses its sincere appreciation for all the good work that he has done. SARL 2025 National Convention. A reminder that the 2025 South African Radio League National Convention, celebrating the SARL's 100th birthday and hosted by the Pretoria Amateur Radio Club, takes place at the Royal Elephant Hotel and Conference Centre, which is located in Centurion, over the weekend of the 13th to the 18th of May. Council is busy finalizing the convention registration form, which will be available in the coming week. The Pretoria Amateur Radio Club celebrates its 95th birthday on the Friday, the 16th of May. If you would like to attend, the cost will be $300 per person for non-park members. If you're a park member, please contact the committee. The SARL 2020 AGM takes place on Saturday morning, the 17th of May, and after the AGM there will be a mega flea market and exhibits by clubs, SARL Hamnet, and other interest groups. Lunch will be available for your own account, and then Saturday closes with the SARL Awards dinner at the hotel, and you can attend for 850 rand per person. The National Convention weekend closes on Sunday the 18th of May with breakfast and departure for home. Clubs, interest groups, and radio dealers are reminded to contact Almera Dubasani, ZS6LDP, to arrange for your club's participation on the 17th of May. Almera's email address is almerodps@gmail.com. That's almerodps@gmail.com. Accommodation is available at the Royal Elephant Hotel with a double room with breakfast at $1,855. That's 1,855 rand per night. Book directly with the hotel on 012-658-8000. That's 012-658-8000. Speak to Katlecho Pasha and quote South African Radio League or SARL. Alternatively, you can book at one of the many guest houses and guest lodges in the area. A list is provided on pages 7 and 8 of the March Radio ZS. The March 2025 issue of Radio ZS is available on the SARL website. In this issue is information about the 2025 National Convention. Take a tour with A2D2V5 ZS4TX African Tour. That's a mouthful, isn't it? The ZS4TX African Tour. And also visit the Still Bay repeater. Make an antenna with a milk carton and look at vertical with a spiral counterpoise. Eddie, ZS6STN reminisces about 50 years of amateur radio. SARL Hamnet provides communications for the Ride for Sight cycling event, and there are features on homebrewing software with Python, and you can see how old AM radio is restored. There's also an article by the Johannesburg Amateur Radio Club, busy with fox hunting ARDF project. So read more about radio direction finding, and also a look at coordinated universal time. The RSGB Commonwealth and Africa International Contest, and return to 1977 for Hamfest 77 in the museum column. And of course, there's lots more to read as well. Thanks to Dennis, ZS4BS, who's the editor of Radio ZS. You're listening to a news bulletin of the South African Radio League. SARL Centenary Technical Symposium takes place on Saturday the 22nd of March, just 3 weeks from now. The symposium is interesting speakers with a wide range of subjects covering the technical and operational aspects of amateur radio. Topics include tropospheric propagation with Brian Jacobs, ZS6Z, contesting an incentive to push technology with Chris Berger, ZS6EZ, who's well-known author about contesting, many years of experience in the subject, and of course he's also made a major contribution to this aspect of amateur radio. There'll also be RF noise monitoring system based on the Raspberry Pi by Anton Jankowski, ZR6AIC. The software was developed by Anton and made freely available. Participation in the SARL Centenary Online Symposium is free of charge, and all you need to do is to register. Visit the SARL website and click on the registration link in the symposium ad on the right-hand page. Registration closes at 17 hours Central African Time on the 21st of March. Contest news. The 8th and 9th of March is a busy contest weekend. Local contests, a youth contest, and one of the longest-running international contests. Both the SARL VHF UHF contest and the SARL Field Day contest run from 08 UTC on Saturday the 6th of March and end on 10 UTC on Sunday the 9th of March. Details can be found in the 2025 SARL contest manual. The Sandton ARC will be active from a field station at Hekpoort, and peers will be operating from a camp at the Olifants Pass. Then for CW operators, the RSGB Commonwealth contest runs from 10 hours UTC on Saturday the 8th of March to 10 hours UTC on the Sunday the 9th of March. It's a CW activity on the 80 to 10 meter bands. So visit www.rsgbcc.org, rsgbcc.org to get the rules. The first leg of the Youth On-Air contest takes place on Sunday the 9th of March from 10 hours to 21:59 UTC with CW and phone activity on 80 through 10 meters. The rules can be found at yotacontest.mrasz.org, yotacontest.mrasz.org, and that's where you find the rules. In club news, the Sandton Amateur Radio Club, ZS6STN, together with the others, will be out in the fields, heating up the airwaves and striving to contact you and one another throughout the next weekend. They invite you to seek them out on from 160 through 10 meters on phone and CW. ZS6STN will be there waiting for you, so celebrate and enjoy the fun of Field Day. In today's propagation report, Hannes Kutsia, ZS6BZP, reports that the solar activity is expected to be low to moderate. There are currently 9 sunspot regions with simple to slightly complex magnetic configurations visible. There's a high probability for C-class and low to good probability for M-class solar flares. If you want to do your own frequency predictions, the effective sunspot number for the week will be around 104. 10 to 20 meter bands may, especially in the late afternoon and early evenings, provide some good DX fun. Please visit the website spaceweather.sansa.org.za for further information. And that concludes a summary of the SARL news for today, the 2nd of March. If you would like the full bulletin, then please go to mysarl.org.za. That's mysarl.org.za, and you can download the full bulletin. Now it's time for the Sandton Amateur Radio Club news. Please have a pen and paper handy to note dates for your diary at the end of this bulletin. Let's start with birthdays. We congratulate the following members on their birthday and wish them a blessed, happy, and successful year ahead. On the 5th of March, it's Christian, ZS6 Charlie Bravo, and on the 7th of March, it's Bradley, ZS6 Whiskey. Field Day. A reminder that the Sandton team will be out at the Machali Sleepy River Caravan Park for the Field Day next weekend, 8th and 9th of March. Field Day is great fun, so if you have camping gear, then do come out and join us for the weekend. If not, then why not come for the day and operate a ZS6STN? It will be a mega event, so don't miss out on the fun. If you are unable to get out to the Field Day camp, then why not fire up your HF radio from home and give us some points? For more information, email info@zs6stn.org.za. That's info@zs6stn.org.za. Or visit the ZS6STN WhatsApp group and find out more about next week's Field Day. And in regular get-togethers, the attendance at last Wednesday's club meeting was disappointing, but we hope we will get better attendance going forward. The meeting will be on the 26th of March at CJ's. And remember that club meetings are always on the last Wednesday of every month. The gatherings are held at CJ's, which is at 11 Kildoon Road, Bryanston. Remember, the success of these events is dependent entirely on your participation. Watch out for announcements, and do come along and get together and have some eyeball QSOs and just enjoy the great company. Power Hour Tech Talk. The Power Hour Tech Talk on Wednesday was really good, and if you are not able to attend or would like to listen again, you can download it. The ZS6STN YouTube platform. That's youtube.com/@ZS6STN. That's the ampersand ZS6STN. So it's youtube.com/@ZS6STN. This is an early diarized Tuesday, 26th of March at 19 hours for the Sandton Amateur Radio Club Power Hour Tech Talk. The Power Hour is hosted on Zoom. Listen out for club bulletins for the topic. Come on, Santonites, get involved and participate. How about volunteering to present a tech talk on any subject? You don't be an expert, you just need to be enthusiastic. Share your experience with others, and it's a great way to further our hobby. The club will supply the platform, you just add your voice. And then if you want to look at past tech talks, subscribe to the ZS6S YouTube. and the URL is youtube.com/ZS6STN. ZS6STN repeater. Well, following the recent round of Stage 4 and Stage 6 load shedding, the repeater battery system proved inadequate. The repeater team have subsequently upgraded the battery and charger at the high site and have provided remote monitoring. This should provide a highly reliable power supply in the future. We're also pleased to advise that the 438-800 UHF repeater has been repaired and is back online. I'd now like to call in Justin, ZS6JGP, for a report on the repeater system and also on the All-Star ZA-Net repeater linking. So, Justin, please go ahead.
6STN ZS6JGP, good morning. Yesterday, March the 1st, we installed a 12-volt, 200 ampere-hour battery, which is an iron phosphate LiFePO 4 battery with a capacity of 2.5 kilowatt hours. This was accompanied by a Victron IP22 30 amp resistor. We set up an ESP32 with Bluetooth connectivity to the Victron IP22 charger and have integrated its data with our Home Assistant setup, which monitors the height. More about that just now. I'd like to give you a little bit of insight into what we're running at our high site. Our high site currently consists of the following: a VHF repeater with a 4-stack antenna, a UHF repeater with a dipole antenna, a DMR with a 4-stack antenna, an All-Star node running Pi 4 with 4 gigs of RAM connected to the ZA-Net network and linked directly to the VHF repeater, a Home Assistant running on a Raspberry 3B Plus for monitoring and statistics, and an RF link via 5 GHz Wi-Fi linking the high site to a ZS6 Mike India Victor UTH for access, which is about 4 kilometers from the high site. An LTE router for backup internet access, and some switches and OE devices. With all this equipment, we realized we needed some intelligence to monitor and manage the site. Our Home Assistant instance allows us to do this. It monitors the internet, reports if links change, notifies us if Eskom is up or down, when the cabinet door is open or closed, when the charger goes into an error state, notifications on battery levels, and a few more. And more will be added as the monitoring system matures. We also have the ability to remotely manage certain aspects of the site, such as turning off or on a specific repeater, rebooting critical devices such as routers, or even simulating an Eskom disconnect, which we've done this morning and are currently running pure battery. Our last battery was in such bad state we needed to turn off the DMR and UHF repeater just so that the main repeater, 145700, lasts a little longer in load shedding with power failures. We are able to do all of this remotely. Now we have more uptime thanks to the new battery. We'll also have the ability to set up automations. For example, if Eskom goes off and Eskom is off for X hours, or the battery volt drops below X, we could set up automations to turn off, for example, the UHF repeater, then later the DMR. We will test the performance of the new battery and build automations around its performance. In addition to all of this, we monitor and log historical data of all sensors, such as Eskom power used, current, energy, watts per day and month, power usage. We have a link to Eskom push API, so the system knows if there's load shedding in the area. The cabinet's humidity, temperature, battery usage from both the charger and an independent sensor, and the uptime since last reboot. We also frequently monitor internet statistics such as download speed, upload speed, latency via pings, and what is our current external IP address, which helps us determine which link we are using. We've got a lot going on at the high site. It's not just a repeater and an antenna. I hope this gives you a better idea of what we have at the high site, what we're doing there, how it's working for us, and how it's serving the club. Thank you, guys. ZS6STN, 6JG73.
Thank you very much, Justin. ZS6JGP. This is ZS6STN. Thanks for the update. I think we must have one of the most sophisticated amateur radio repeater sites in the country, and if not in the whole of the Southern Hemisphere. So welcome to you, Justin, to Dave, and to your team, and we really appreciate everything that you've done. Well, we appreciate reports on coverage and performance, and if you experience any difficulty, please let us know the details and your location and working systems. Use the email address info@zs6stn.org.za. info@zs6stn.org.za. Dipole newsletter. The Dipole is the Sandton Amateur Radio Club monthly newsletter. It's the forum to share and discuss amateur radio activities of particular interest to club members or more generally. And now it's your turn. Help raise the interest factor and consider submitting an article of interest for publication. You can send your article to info@zs6stn.org.za. info@zs6stn.org.za. Sandton contest participation. The Sandton Amateur Radio Club came third place in the 80-meter club contest. Well, that's not good. Next year we need to be first in the 80-meter club contest. But go ZS6STN, well done. And there's the RL Hamnet 40-meter simulated emergency contest to get on air and earn some points. The contest is open to all radio amateurs in South Africa and neighboring countries, and only contacts with these areas will count. The 40-meter phone contest only is in the band segment 7063 to 7100 and 7130 to 7200 kilohertz. It takes place today between 12 hours and 14 hours UTC, so that's from 2 o'clock this afternoon to 6 o'clock local time. These are limited to unity gain relative to a dipole, so no beams or gain antennas. Stationary mobile antennas shall use stationary mobile stations shall use antennas that rely solely on their vehicles for support and shall not exceed a height of 5 meters above ground. Station antennas may not be erected and installed before the day of the contest, so it's too late to stick them up anyway. No permanent man-made structure may be used to either house equipment or for antenna supports. So you can't have the station in your garage and hang up a mast outside. You must be running a full field station. Stationary mobile and field stations shall operate from the same site for the duration of the contest, so you can't drive around in your car to different locations. And all power used shall comply with the requirements for field stations as contained in the general rules. Now grab that pencil and piece of paper we mentioned here, and let's write down the diary of upcoming events. Today, the SARL Hamnet 40-meter simulated emergency contest, as well as the ALLRL International DX phone contest. On the 8th of March is International Women's Day. And the next weekend, 8th and 9th of March, the SARL National Field Day and the SARL VHF UHF FM contest take place. The next weekend is the RSGB Commonwealth Contest. 9th of March, the first leg of the Youth on Air contest, so it's a really busy week. 16th of March, the start of the SARL 6-meter challenge. 17th of March is St. Patrick's Day. 20th of March is the Autumn Equinox, and that actually takes place if you are in on the 30th parallel. It'll be at 8 UTC. There you go, exactly 8:58 UTC. 21st of March is Human Rights Day, World Down Syndrome Day, and the Namibian Independence Day. So I wonder if they're going to have a contest of sorts. 22nd of March is the SARL Centenary Technical Symposium. 22nd and 23rd of March, the Africa All Mode International Contest. And then a diary of events ahead. 18th of April is World Radio Day. So every April the 18th, radio amateurs worldwide take to the airwaves in celebration of World Amateur Radio Day. It was on this day, in 1925, that the International Amateur Radio Union was formed in Paris, and it's an opportunity to reflect on our achievements. 1924, We should celebrate our diverse community and advances and innovations that we have made as we look forward to celebrating the IARU centenary year. Let's take a quick break. Any Sandton Club committee members who'd like to add some breaking news? ZS6STN is standing by.
ZS6HI.
Yes, Keith, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Chris. Thank you very much for a bulletin well received at my QTH, and good morning to all on frequency. The E is going to have their next committee meeting this coming Wednesday evening, so if you've got any subject matter that you would like the committee to discuss, please do send to info@ZS6STN, and we will then .org.za, and we'll put it onto the agenda for the committee meeting on Wednesday. And just to let you know that everything's healthy in the club from a perspective of finances. And, we've just spent some money on the high side, as indicated. So thank you very much to the repeater team for doing that as well. I know that our chairman, Brandon Mazulu, has been very actively coordinating and getting the force, the team together to do something special for Field Day. We would really like to encourage everyone to come out on the Saturday and see how things are operating out at Machali Sleepy River. If you can't get out there for camping over the weekend, why not come out on the Saturday? Have a braai, bring the family if you'd like. There's a pool, there's a snoopy, and it's quite a nice environment just to come and spend some time with the family as well. And just to give a little bit of feedback in terms of the 160-meter tech talk that happened last Wednesday evening. That was by Philip ZS6 PVT. That was very well attended. We had over 30 people online at one point, but I think we had consistently about 29 people online listening to that 160-meter talk, and that's ahead of the upcoming 160-meter contest where you can get your 160-meter WAS or certificate, your top band certificate. And just to mention that Philip has managed to achieve his WAS on 160 meters. That's one hell of an accomplishment, so congratulations to Philip on that. That was in 2011, so it's a bit dated, but it was also good. But yeah, so you can manage 160 meters in your property or get a friend and go out and have some fun on the 160 meter contest that's coming up. I think it's, and that would allow you to potentially get your 160 meter top band contest certificate, or your certificate. That's all I would really like to report, Chris. ZS6STN, ZS6HI.
ZS6HI, ZS6STN. Thanks very much, Keith. And very nice indeed. And field activities. Sandton's always been well known for its field activities, and being out at Michalisburg is something that we did from the day that we formed that club. And that was just a few years ago. And the tradition remains, and it's always a fabulous time. Great camaraderie, good food, great operating conditions, and it doesn't matter whether it rains or not. Everyone has a good. So if you've got the time, go out on the Saturday and go and join in the fun. Right, now it's for our tech topic for today. And today's topic is not about amateur radio or radio at all, but it really is back to the future. On February 19th, the first documented, verifiable flight of a flying car, that's an actual car with vertical takeoff, took place in a field in San Mateo, California, called the ALEF Model A, that's ALEF Model A, the drivable flying car, vertical takeoff and landing capabilities. Because the vehicle has the body of a conventional car, owners will be able to park it in a normal parking space, so drive it on the roads. So far, the team says that it has a driving range of 200 miles and a flight range of 110 miles. The vehicle comes with a gimbaled cabin design, so it keeps it stable as it moves through the air, as well as an elevon system to control the vertical and horizontal movement. For safety, there are no exposed propellers, And if you look at a picture of the vehicle, you'll see it looks like it's made of a fine mesh, and everything's contained within that wire mesh. But it has the form of a real car. All the key components have triple to octuple redundancy, so 3 to 4 times redundancy. And the vehicle also comes with an obstacle detection and avoidance system and a ballistic parachute. So if all fails, you can parachute to the ground and hope there's nobody below you. The ALEF Aeronautics flying car is the first vehicle with vertical takeoff to receive an FAA Special Airworthiness Certificate to fly in the USA. It's 100% electric, and the team claims that it uses less energy per trip than a Tesla or any other EV. It's been, isn't it? Because the company has to protect its IP, they're not showing everything publicly. And we're obsessed with safety, and we want to make sure the car is safe enough for consumers before we actually show it, says Jim Duchovny. He's the ALEF Aeronautics CEO. An ultralight version of the ALEF Model 0 was used for the test and demonstration flight, and it was completed without any safety issues. The Model 0 is a test model used solely for research and development, but is the basis for the ALEF Model A, will be the commercial production version. The team also has a future ALEF Model Z, which will be a 4-person drivable flying sedan, able to fly 200 miles and will have a driving range on the road of 400 miles. This version is expected autonomous flight capabilities as well, unlike its predecessors. Jim Duchovny, the CEO of ALEF Aeronautics, told the BBC senior technology reporter Chris Valance that he had thousands of pre-orders and hoped to start production within 12 months. For $100,000, the company says buyers will get an electric flying car with a predicted airborne range of 110 kilometers. But taking a friend for a spin proved tricky. The cockpit only has enough room for 1.5 people. As Valance points out, ALEF Aeronautics are not the only ones trying to make cars take off with buyers. A bit of a pun there, isn't it? There are also huge technological and regulatory hurdles to overcome. So we're still to go before science fiction becomes a reality. But ALEF says that they expect to be in full production with their new vehicle, large version of the vehicle, by no later than 2035. And that's only 10 years away, and 10 years is what it took to develop the range of electric vehicles. So, for the younger generation, time will just fly by. Well, more about the ALEF Aeronautics flying vehicle, then you can go and visit the BBC website. That's www.bbc.com. Search for ALEF flying car. That's ALEF, the ALEF flying car. And there's also a video of the test flight of that. So look out for it. I think it's going to be very interesting to see where flying vehicle technology goes. So is it Back to the Future 3? Who knows? And the repeat of this bulletin will be on the STN YouTube. That's youtube.com/that's the ampersand at ZS6STN. That's youtube.com/ampersand ZS6STN. So don't delay. Go and subscribe now to the Sandton Amateur Radio channel. Well, that brings a close to the weekly bulletin for the Sandton Amateur Radio Club. Thank you for your contributions, and to the relay stations, your input is invaluable. This is ZS6GM operating ZS6STN, now off and clear on 2 meters and also on 40 meters.